everyone, Poor Cynic here with Tablet Tyrant Reviews, and this is Angry Birds Go by Rovio Entertainment. This is a kart racing title set in the Angry Birds universe. I'm going to say that again, but a little bit slower. This is a kart racing title set in the Angry Birds universe, and it's about as good as a kart racing title spun off from a physics-based puzzle game seems like it would be. Alright, let's go over some of the things here on screen. There's options down here in the corner. It's very basic. Sound controls. There are two types of controls. There's tapping on the actual screen, and there's tilt controls. We're going to be using tap controls because the tilt controls for this game are terrible, oversensitive, and just a mess. Much like the rest of this game. And going over some of the things else on here on screen, Toons TV, that takes you to the Rovio cartoon section, where you can watch the little Angry Birds cartoons, which is probably the only good part of this app. You can create a Rovio account using a little face with the pencil underneath it. The T with the sort of Teen Titans looking tower thing here at the bottom, that's for your telepods. That is, you can buy toys to upload new things into the game. Now I actually saw one of these toys for the first time in my local Target. Two toys and a new game type cost about $10. $9.99 specifically, so not the best of deals, really. Plus, then you get stuck with toys. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, you know, I'm a man with very little space. I can't afford to be buying toys, and I don't have anywhere to put them. Let's jump right into play here. I've got two of these sections unloaded. There's also the preview for Sub-Zero, which is a new game type that was recently released in another patch. See here down at the bottom, we have Jenga, which is a purchasable game add-on, because they made a lot of deals. There's a lot of product placement in this game. I'm going to try to block out the worst of it, but some I'm going to leave in just because it's so pervasive. I mean, there's sponsored power-ups. It's beyond the basic, you know, here's an advertisement to look at while you're on the loading screen thing. It's insane. I've never seen it this intense. There's daily events where you can get bonuses if you play cumulative days. Pretty basic. Now let's go into actually selecting the races. We have here, this is Bomb Bird, I believe. His name is Bomb, and he has the obviously explosive power-up. Let's actually go up and see the birds. All the birds you unlock by beating them in one of the specific race types, which I'll get into in just a second. I've gotten the pink bird, whose name I can't recall. Future me, can you get on that in editing? Thank you. There's Red, who's just called Red. Let's actually go with Red. He gets a speed boost. They all have their special abilities. The pink bird has a bubble shield type of thing. Anyway, you have a race, different kinds of race cars to choose from, all with the different CC ratings. You can see here, and if you want different ones, they can either be bought, it depends, with the gold currency, which is just the typical in-race you collect type currency, and the special Uber currency of crystals. This actually replaced the previous system where you actually had to buy these carts with money. Not that this is any better, because crystals are fairly rare. You can occasionally pick them up on the course. They're basically just saying that, yeah, these aren't priced to real money anymore, but you still have to pay real money to get them, unless you want to grind forever. I suppose that's a bit better, but whatever. And then you can upgrade them by hitting these little points on the side if you have enough money. Yeah, let's boost handling. And now we'll jump into the actual races themselves. There are 5 kinds of races, as you can see here. Track 1, it's basic race, finish in the top 3. There's a time trial, beat the fuse. You know, if you don't win, you explode, I guess. There's Fruit Splat, because destroying fruit was such a big part of the Angry Birds mythos. I can't believe I'm saying such a thing as Angry Birds mythos. Basically, you just have to hit as much fruit as possible. If you complete the necessary amount of fruit, all the rest of the fruit turn into coins before the end of the race. There's a Versus, which is as it sounds, you race against another racer. And then the capstone race, or the champion chase, is basically you have to beat the individual depicted, in this case the blues, 3 times, and you get to recruit them. The problem is that the birds have a finite amount of energy, and, you know, plays, basically. In this case, you can see up here in the right-hand corner, the spots next to Red's face, he has 5 energy. It means he can race 5 times before he gets exhausted and has to either be charged up with more crystals or wait. And it doesn't matter if he wins or loses, he still expends an energy, which is a really bad way to do it. Let's just go. Let's try our hand at the blues. And this is just a little comic. You know, they're pecking at a cake. And I will do my best to try and block out the worst of these. Advertisements, I mean. So I'm pretty close to them in numbered level. You can see there, 327 versus 321 CC. And you can see up there at the top, State Farm sponsored cart repair and Goldfish sponsored boost and Target sponsored Target cart. Yeah, it's very subtle. Oh, and I mistimed it, so I spun out, and I am immediately at a disadvantage. And oh, there's their special ability. They can drop things in my way, which is great. And as you can see here, I'm not really doing all that well. Doesn't help that I keep running into things. I'll activate the special power. This is something you can only use a certain number of times before you have to actually pay for it with, again, super currency. Or maybe it's regular currency. They might have changed that. I don't think so, though. This is actually proceeding pretty well. Sometimes these championship chase races can be kind of unfair. Bomb took me, like, forever, just because, I don't know, it's just, like, the computer had been given such an advantage for some reason. Or maybe that's just the way it seemed to me. Maybe I just suck. I don't know. But I seem to have this well in the bag. And we are almost there. Boom. Additional 72,000 points for a total of 93,733. Not enough for the full 3 stars. An additional 3 crystals. And hey, you should purchase the coin doubler. Reminder. This is a really messy screen. I mean, there's the coin doubler, there's the the Facebook Connect. Just, there's a lot going on. It's very messy. So many other things about this. I will say the graphics look very nice for an iOS game. I mean, these are solid 3D graphics, and I believe this is the first time that the Angry Birds themselves have been rendered in 3D, and it looks pretty well. Yeah. Otherwise, there's not really a lot going for this game. There's a large emphasis on IAP. It's very repetitive, and now you can see they've gotten tougher, so I don't have enough to actually fight them. So let's just jump into a typical race. More advertisements. Although I will admit this one is actually for an Angry Birds thing. I probably will not be reviewing other Angry Birds topics just because I don't really like Angry Birds. I tried the original and I didn't really buy the physics in it. I was just like, it's not reacting how it should react. I was sort of lingered there for far too long. More than that, Stella. Stella is the name of the pink bird. I'll have to make a note of that. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. 3, 2, go. I screwed up again. But doesn't really seem to have mattered all that much. I'm behind King Pig. Oh, now I'm in the lead. Suck it, losers. I am the best even when I'm the worst. Oh, now I'm in third. But yeah, you can tell it looks very nice. And when you're not using the touch controls, it actually handles fairly well. But I mean, tilt controls, I should say. When you're using the tilt controls, it's horrendous. It's awful. It is probably one of the worst examples of tilt controls I've ever seen. It's just almost unplayable. So I was practically going uphill at one point. Skimming the walls. Another problem is less apparent here, but sometimes it just seems a bit... What? Okay, that was bomb. And am I gonna fall off this cliff? No. It just seems the computer seems to cheat a little bit. And sometimes it can seem a bit unfair. Probably just a way to get you to buy into the in-app purchases. I don't know why it's saying I've won 10 races. I won more than that, unless it's just counting it within the race category, the versus category. But it sort of ties into one of the other problems I have. It's just very repetitive. There doesn't really feel like a lot of things to do. Or I'm just sort of doing the same thing over and over. Let's take a look at Fruit Splat, because that's just very silly. what did fruit play an important role in this game at some point, or in this series at some point? I cannot recall. And if someone is well versed in the lore of this game, far more than I am, I'd really like to know if I'm missing something. And yeah, this is Fruit Splat. Destroy the fruit that's in the way, and if you destroy the necessary amount of fruit indicated by that bar at the top, you get all the fruit will turn into coins, and you will have successfully completed the requirement of the race. Doesn't even matter if you don't get in first. Basically, the only advantage for being in first is that the people behind you, or the other racers, will attempt to destroy the fruit for themselves, which means less fruit for you to destroy, which means more chance of you failing. But I pretty much got this one well and truly in the bag. Yep, and they're coins. So, nailed it. And looks like just a nice straight run. And boom. Yep, got the barely scraped 100,000. And yes. So that pretty much wraps up Angry Birds Go. And man, I have to say this game is not worth anyone's time or money. It's dull, it's kind of money grubbing, it's basically a toy push for a series that hasn't really struck me as having a lot of importance on toys in the first place until this is a recent development. And it's not very fairly balanced for the player. It just feels sloppy and sluggish and ultimately a very cheap money grab. It looks great, I'll give it that. It looks very nice, but I'm just not impressed by this at all. Ooh, I wasn't paying attention. I was doing the outro and I crashed. Well, that was silly of me. It seems to me that release with titles like this and the recently announced Angry Birds Epic, that Rovio is trying to do with Angry Birds what Nintendo did with Mario, is make a flagship title that spans multiple genres in order to pull in as wide of an audience as possible. You know, it's an honorable and logical goal for a business, but I don't really see it working with Go. The experiment in this case doesn't strike me as being successful because the game isn't very good. The difference between this and Mario Kart, you know, I haven't played Mario Kart in a long, long time. Let's say, probably back to the Super NES, or maybe one of the handhelds, is that it was actually entertaining. I mean, and I failed. But I mean, this is just kind of sad and pathetic and unentertaining. Maybe if you really, really, really like Angry Birds, you might enjoy this. But, and if you really, really like Angry Birds, you probably don't care about the things I just spent a video grumbling about. But for anybody else, even if you like sort of kart racing games, there's no reason to get this. None whatsoever. So yeah, I've been Poor Cynic, ta-ta, and farewell.